ball too.
Except that I had an air ball in there somewhere. You gotta get an air ball at least once a game.
Right. Just to keep you humble. So, talking to him about that game, he's one of those. He said he's one of those guys. There aren't no moral victories, but in a game like that, we showed a ton of fight, a ton of perseverance. But do you share the same mentality? No moral victories. It's frustrating to lose that game, or are you taking positives away from it?
I mean, there's positives to take away from that game, but there's also, I mean, it's a game that we wanted to win. I think there's two games that were really close and that we had a chance to win in the Alabama and the Kansas game. And I mean, we wish that we could take those back, but I mean, we got to look forward. And those are two good teams that we played. Kansas is probably in the top 10 now. So, I mean, it's good to know that we can play with anybody in the country, but it would have been even better if we got the win.
Is it frustration, or what is the emotion that trying to get these big wins just can't quite get over the hump yet?
It's still frustrating because we see ourselves as a good team and a team that should be up there and playing with the best of them. So I mean, it's definitely frustrating because we consider ourselves one of the better teams.
You said there are positives. What specifically are some of those positives that you learned from this game?
Just looking at it, I mean, that's a top 10 team. That's an NCAA team. That's a team that's going to win a lot of games this year, and that's a big program. So if we could fight against them, I mean, we could fight against anybody.
Did you learn anything new about this group in that game?
A lot. I mean, I think having Angus, him going out, I think a lot of people counted us out and didn't really think that we'd be as successful and be able to compete with Kansas anymore now that he was gone. But I mean, just think if we had Angus and we had all of our guys clicking, I mean, it could have been a different game.
Now, moving forward, what's been the focus of mine saying just defensively? And coaches preached throughout the year just getting a couple more stops. So is that what you guys are working on this week?
Still, yeah, we're just still trying to just get better on the defensive end and just try to make sure that we're getting a couple more stops a game, because last year we lost about 5 or 6 games where it was close to 4 or 5 points or something like that. If you get those stops and you convert on them, I mean, that could have been the difference in both of these games.
Now, you personally, you were looking forward to guarding, Macklemore and playing against, those guys. How'd you feel you did?
I think I did all right. I mean, we started off in a lot of zone. I didn't really get a chance to play man, and then once we went man, he was in foul trouble. So I was kind of, I mean, it was cool. I mean, either way, you're still guarding one of the best players in the country. So I mean, it was definitely good, and he's a good player, and I mean, he's a good friend of mine. So it was cool.
I don't want to pick on Chale, but you guys feel bad for him a little bit?
Oh yeah, I do. That's just how it is. He kind of moved out of the way, so it wasn't as bad as it looked. So once we went to the replays and kind of gave him a little stuff for it, I mean, we saw that he moved out of the way. They had 18,000 people there, so it was definitely a lot of people. But I mean, it says something about it. Last year we didn't really do well on the road, and we're playing the top 10 team in Kansas, and just a couple points off, and they'd be a different game.
Now, I know you got buddies on the football team, and you keep up with them. Going to Alma Bowl, have you talked to any of them, or how do you feel about them?
Oh, I'm excited. I was just doing homework last night with Storm Woods, and I mean, he's going back to Texas and stuff, and everybody's excited. I'm excited for them to go out there and beat Texas in Texas.